Good morning, students. So today we will discuss about oxygen family. So we have in micro schedule oxygen family this week. So I will continue nitrogen family in the next later. So the oxygen family is the 60th group elements or 16th group elements. So oxygen family we will have oxygen, sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium and this new element livermorium. So this polonium and this element are radioactive elements. So here these 16 group elements are also called chalcogens. So these are also called chalcogens. So this oxygen, so it is derived from the Greek word. So next we will see occurrence. Oxygen is the most abundant of all the elements on earth. You know, so every element it combined with oxygen and exist in the form of oxides, carbonates, sulfates, so oxides. So all elements will readily combine with the oxygen and they will form the compounds of oxygen. That's why oxygen is the first most abundant element on the earth crust. So oxygen is the most abundant of all elements on earth, and oxygen forms about 46.6% by mass of earth crust. So earth crust in oxygen constitute 46% by mass. So and air in atmosphere 21% of oxygen is exists in the by volume. So means it is the first most abundant element in the earth crust. And however the abundance of sulfur in earth crust is only lesser amount 0.03% to 0.1. So abundance decreases. Next selenium, tellurium, polonium also exist in very tracer amounts. So abundance of oxygen is high. And so what are the combined sulfur exist as sulfates. So oxygen exists in atmosphere as O2 molecule and also in earth crust carbonates, bicarbonates, oxides. In the same way sulfur exists as sulfates. So you know sulfates such as gypsum. This you have in the first year CaSO4 2H2O. So this CaSO4 2H2O is called gypsum. And Epsom salt MgSO4 7H2O is called Epsom. And byrite, barium sulfate is called byrite. So these are all compounds of the sulfur in the earth. And sulfates such as gelina. So lead sulfide is called gelina. Zinc blende, zinc sulfide is called zinc blende. And copper pyrites. So these are all the compounds, combined sulfur compounds. So and then sulfur exists as hydrogen sulfides. Hydrogen sulfide is also the compound existed by the sulfur. And organic material, eggs, proteins, garlic, onion, mustard, hair and wool contain the sulfur. Some organic materials also contain the sulfur as the element. And selenium and tellurium are also found as selenides and tellurides in sulfide ores. So this is the occurrence of different elements of the oxygen family. And next here, except for here this table indicates the properties of the oxygen family, and the first property is atomic number. So atomic number increases from top to bottom, and atomic mass, if you observe, this mass value also increase. And next electronic configuration, you know oxygen family will have NS2 NP4 outermost electronic configuration, and here the first time d orbital is introduced, and here the first time f orbital is introduced. And next covalent radius also increases. So if you observe this value, it is also increased from top to bottom, ionic radius. So the mostly they compounds form. This is the E2 minus, means in -2 oxidation state the radius of all elements, if you observe these values, so this is also increased from top to bottom, means radius increases from top to bottom. Next, electron gain enthalpy. So the energy released when an element accept electron in neutral gaseous state, that is called electron gain enthalpy. So this value is increased to here and then decreased. So next, ionization enthalpy. Ionization enthalpy also, if you observe the value, so it is increased and then decreased and then decreased. So means general trend is ionization enthalpy decreases from top to bottom, but only here the exception is there. And next, electronegativity values. Electronegativity values decreased from top to bottom. Next, density increases from top to bottom. And then melting point and boiling point also increased from top to bottom. And here the value is decreased from tellurium to polonium. So that is the only exception here. And next, oxidation states. So next, you have to remember the states of oxidation state. -2, -1 means they exhibit variable oxidation state. They doesn't exhibit only single oxidation number. So they show variable oxidation states. Next, electronic configuration, you know, NH to NP4 is the outermost electronic configuration. And next, atomic and ionic radii. Due to increase in the number of shells, the atomic radius and ionic radius also increases from top to bottom. And the size of oxygen atom is, however, exceptionally small. So among these all elements, the oxygen will have very smallest size and high electronegativity. So ionization enthalpy decreases down the group. It is due to increase in size. But group 15 elements will have high ionization enthalpy than group 16 elements, because group 15 elements will have stable NS2 NP3 electronic configuration. So that's why group 16 elements will have less ionization enthalpy when compared to group 15 elements. This you have to remember. So if you compare oxygen and nitrogen, nitrogen will have high ionization energy than oxygen, because nitrogen will have 2s2 2p3 stable oxidation state. Next, electron gain enthalpy. So this oxygen will have high electron gain enthalpy values. So because it is more electronegative, it readily accepts electrons and releases more energy and stabilized by gaining electrons. So that's why oxygen electron gain enthalpy value is higher. And however, from sulfur onwards, the value again becomes less negative up to polonium, and values are decreased. But so there is only one exception is there. So because of compact nature, oxygen atom it has less negative electron gain enthalpy than sulfur. So oxygen will have less electron gain enthalpy than sulfur, and after sulfur the electron gain enthalpy values are decreased. Next, electronegativity. So oxygen has the highest electronegativity among these elements, and within the group electronegativity decreases. So because size increases means it can attract electron very less. That's why electronegativity values decreases from top to bottom. So the elements of 16th group generally shows lower value of first Ia value compared to 15th group. So this already you know, because in 15th group elements the stable half-filled electronic configuration is there. So that's why they will have high ionization enthalpy when compared to 16th group elements. So next, physical properties. So physical properties of group 16 elements are given. So already we have seen physical properties in the table, and then we go to chemical properties. So chemical properties, oxidation states and trends in chemical reactivity. So these elements, group 16 exhibit a number of oxidation states, means they will exhibit variable oxidation states. And the stability of -2 oxidation state decreases down the group. So the -2 oxidation stability is decreases down the group, means O-2 is more stable, and then S-2, then selenium -2, tellurium -2, like that. So this you have to remember. -2 oxidation state stability decreases down the group, and polonium doesn't shows -2 oxidation state. And since electronegativity of oxygen is very high, it shows only negative oxidation state. So oxygen will show -2, -1 and -half. You know, oxides, peroxides, superoxides. And also oxygen when combined with fluorine, for example OF2. So in this molecule, fluorine is more electronegative. So it shows -1 oxidation state, and oxygen shows +2 oxidation state. So this F-1 and oxygen is +2. Means it shows only in fluorides positive oxidation state. Otherwise it always exhibit negative oxidation states. So since +2, other elements of the group exhibit +2, +4 and +6 also. So +2, +4, +6 oxidation states are exhibited by remaining remaining elements of the group. So this +2, +4, +6. But +4 and +6 are more common. So sulfur, selenium and tellurium usually show +4 oxidation state in their compounds. So sulfur, tellurium and means +4 oxidation stability increases from top to bottom. So it doesn't shows +6 oxidation state as we go down the group. So because of inert pair effect, this is also you have studied in boron family and carbon family. So inert pair effect means NH2, NB4, they can show maximum +6 oxidation state, but they will show +4 because NH2 electrons doesn't participate in bond formation as we go down the group. That is called inert pair effect. Due to inert pair effect, +4 is stable in the lower elements and shows +4 oxidation state in their compounds with oxygen and +6 with the fluorine. So next, the stability of +6 oxidation state decreases down the group. So +4 oxidation state stability increases due to inert pair effect. And then bonding in +4 and +6 oxidation state is primarily covalent. So mainly generally the compounds in higher oxidation state will have covalent nature, and in lower oxidation state they will have the ionic nature. So +4, +6 means higher oxidation state. That's why in that state they will show more covalent character and anomalous behavior of oxygen. So in p block elements, so in each group the first element is showing different properties with the rest of elements. So because of their small size and high electronegativity and high charge by mass ratio. So that's why the anomalous behavior of oxygen like other members of p block in the second period is due to small size and high electronegativity. So if you see the example, so oxygen H2O and H2S, if you compare these oxides, so here the oxygen means H2O shows hydrogen bonding. So it will form the intermolecular hydrogen bonding. So but H2S doesn't show hydrogen bonding. So means it is also anomalous behavior. So next, this anomalous behavior is also due to the absence of d orbitals in oxygen. So there are no d orbitals in oxygen. So that's why maximum can form only 4 bonds. So because 2p4, they will have 4 electrons in valence shell. So maximum it can form only 4 bonds. So d orbitals in oxygen limits its covalency. So its maximum covalency is, oxygen maximum covalency is 4. but remaining elements can show covalency up to 6. Covalency means number of bonds formed by that element. And reactivity with hydrogen. So all these elements will combine with hydrogen and form M2O type, means H2O, H2S. Like that, hydrates are formed by the oxygen family elements. All the elements of group 16 will form H2E. E means here element. H2E type of hydrates. And some properties of hydrates are given in this table. So in this, acidic character increases from top to bottom. So if you see the hydrates, H2O, H2S, H2SE, H2Te. If you see these hydrates, oxygen, sulfur, cellulite, tellurite. So from top to bottom, acidic nature, acidic character increases. So acidic character increases because this stability decreases, means so this H2Te is less stable. So it will lose H plus ion very easily. So because its size increases from top to bottom, and due to size variation, hydrate is a smaller size and tellurium is a larger size. So it is very unstable. So that's why it loses H plus ion, means acidic strength increases from top to bottom. So this is it is also due to bond dissociation energy decreases, means we can easily break this bond. So it will easily donate the H plus ion. So that's why acidic strength increases from top to bottom. So these are the some properties of hydrates of the group 16 elements. So melting point. So melting point is decreased and then increased. And if you take boiling point, means H2O among these element hydrates, H2O is having high melting point. And because it is due to hydrogen bonding, intermolecular forces are strong in H2O. So because of oxygen is more electronegative, they can form intermolecular hydrogen bonding. So intermolecular forces ఎంత స్ట్రాంగ్ గా ఉంటాయో బాయిలింగ్ పాయింట్ అండ్ మెల్టింగ్ పాయింట్ కూడా ఎక్కువ ఉంటుంది. So because there is a strong interaction, we need more temperature to boil. Then boiling point of water is also, so here in Kelvin 373 and here decrease and then increase. So means water is having high melting point and also high boiling point. And next bond dissociation, He distance, bond length. So it is also bond length. So bond length is increased. And next bond angle. So bond angle is decreased. As central atom size increases, bond angle will decrease. So bond angle is inversely proportional to size of central atom. And next enthalpy of formation. So it is also decreased. And here dissociation enthalpy. So this is also decreased and dissociation constant. So this is a acid dissociation constant. So this is the reactivity with oxygen. So all these elements will form oxides with EO2 and EO3, means dioxides and trioxide. If you see sulfur can form sulfur dioxide and also sulfur trioxide. Selenium dioxide and selenium trioxide. Like that they will form dioxides and trioxides. Among these, the ozone and sulfur dioxide are gases and selenium dioxide is a solid. And reducing property of dioxides decreases from SO2 to TeSO2. So that you have to remember, reducing property of oxides is decreased and hydrates is increased but oxides is decreasing. So reducing nature means, so they will reduce other substance, they will itself undergo oxidation state, oxidation. So because, so that is due to +4 oxidation stability increases from top to bottom. So that's why, so they will have higher losing property. So that's why reducing nature decreases from SO2 to TiO2. So they are stable in +4 oxidation state. So that's why they doesn't want to oxidize. And SO2 is reducing while TiO2 is oxidizing agent. So tellurium dioxide is a good oxidizing agent. Means oxidizing nature increases and reducing nature decreases. And besides EO2 type, sulfur, cellurium and tellurium also form EO3 type oxides. So they also exist in trioxide form. And both types of oxides are acidic in nature. So they are non-metal oxides are acidic in nature, you know. So that's why they will combine with water, they will form acids. Next, reactivity towards the halogens. So elements of 16th group elements, so form halides of type EX6 and EX4. EX6 and EX4 and EX2 means hexahalides, tetrahalides and dihalides. So where here E means element, means oxygen, sulfur, cellurium. And here the stability of halides decreases in the order. Fluorides are more stable and chlorides and bromides and iodides. So this is the stability order of different halogens. So among these hexafluorides are the stable halides. So if you observe SF6 and SCl6, so both are hexahalides, but fluorides are more stable. You studied about the SF6 structure in the first year. So SF6 is the more stable than other hexahalides. So next, all hexafluorides are gaseous in nature. So they are gaseous in nature and they have octahedral structure. You know SF6 having octahedral geometry. We have already studied. Sulfur hexafluoride is exceptionally stable for steric reasons. So it is SF6 is a more stable compound. So among tetrafluorides, SF4 is a gas and SeF4 is a liquid and TeF4 is a solid. So means the state of substance is go down from gaseous state and then liquid state and then solid state. And these fluorides have sp3d hybridization. And what about hybridization in hexahalides? So in hexahalides, so hybridization, so in hexahalide, for example SF4, so which is the central atom, sulfur is the central atom. So it is having 6 electrons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 electrons. And here 4 electrons are involved in the bond and 1 remains as the lone pair. So means total 4 plus 1 means 5. So 5 means which hybridization is sp3 dehybridization. So hybridization is equal to number of sigma bonds plus lone pairs. So that is equal to 5.